Hey, what's up everyone? It's Assad here. Welcome back to the 50 Scratch channel. In today's video, by the way, new setup or new background, I just moved to a new city, a new state. So I'm still in the process of getting settled in, but I should be back into the flow of things very soon. In the meantime, today I have a very special contribution for you from Mr. Daniel Madison. A lot of you are probably familiar with Daniel Madison. He's been a part of the Magic community for like 20 years, maybe a long time. And more recently, he's joined the YouTube community and started to share his knowledge and expertise right here on this platform, which is absolutely awesome. I'll drop a link down below so you can check out his channel after you've watched this video. He's going to be sharing with you right now an awesome routine. I won't say much about it. I'll just let you check it out for yourself. And I hope you enjoy.
Hi, I'm Madison, and this is ACES.
After thoroughly shuffling the playing cards, the participant is invited to cut the deck into 4 piles. The top card is taken from each pile, and the participant is reminded that they could have cut to any card when cutting the deck. It is in this moment that we achieve the switch, and we can reveal that the participant cut directly to all 4 aces. I am Daniel Madison, and this is Mad Aces. Today is a very special lesson, and I'm so happy that I get to share this, not with my audience, but with the audience of 52 cards. I'm a huge fan, so this is a very special moment for me. If you don't know who I am Daniel Madison. I teach magic, close-up deceptions, sleight of hand with playing cards, and I teach it all right here on YouTube. And in this very special video today, I'm going to teach you something called Mad Aces. So straight to it, let's get to the mechanics. So we're going to start by taking out all of the aces. These are the cards that we're going to reveal at the very end. The beautiful thing about this trick, I think, is the fact that it's so hands-off that we don't ever have to worry about compromising our sleight, compromising our deceptive, dirty moment, which is palming the playing cards. We're going to be palming all the aces pretty much throughout this trick. Now, getting into the palming of these playing cards, you want to have the aces. There's a few different ways to do this, but you want to have all the aces either on top or on bottom, because you're going to get them into kind of a modified Tenkai palm, if not just a straight up Tenkai palm. For me, this happens in a very down moment at the beginning of the trick, where I've got the playing cards. I'm going to keep the aces, all 4 aces, and keep them on top of the deck, and then I'm going to control them now when I'm shuffling, which is a very easy thing. Just keeping my fingers held on the top slug of playing cards. So I'm holding about 7 playing cards, maybe a few more. This assures that the 4 aces stay in place on top of the deck exactly where I need them. And in a down moment where I'm talking about the trick, where I'm going to explain what's happening, this is a down moment where nothing's happening with the playing cards. All the attention's up at me. Everybody's looking at me because I'm talking and I'm making eye contact. When I'm making eye contact with somebody, it's kind of socially compliantly rude for them to not be looking at me, right? So I kind of rely on that at times like this. So I'll be talking to them, head up, body language towards them. The cards aren't important, they're down here, they're just in my hand. We don't need to be looking at them yet because it's a non-moment. Nothing's happened yet. There's nothing to see here. So while that's happening, while I'm talking, very natural movements with my hands, very much nothing going on. I'm going to actually slip those aces into a Tenkai palm, when I'm talking. So I try and expose this as if it's a performance itself. If I hold a break underneath the ACES with my pinky, I can transfer that onto my thumb and I can get kind of a tent position. So I'm going to push all those 4 ACES up. Now it goes from here, and then my hand comes over the top, straight into a Tenkai palm, and the job's done. Now once I'm in a Tenkai palm, this hand can move very, very freely. Now I'm going to be honest about everything. I'm going to be brutal with it and tell you absolutely everything, even though the negatives that you might see about this. Now Tenkai palm, for those who don't know, it's a very easy thing. I teach a lot to do with the Tenkai palm on my YouTube channel. You can find so many videos about the Tenkai palm, especially on 52 cards. Tenkai palm for me, the index of the playing cards, if they're face down, the index is going to go right in the middle of my hand, right in the middle of my palm here, and then my thumb is going to clip those 4 playing cards into my hand. So I've got a little bit of room for purchase here, tiny bit of room showing in this window here. So if I do this, ha, got you, then I've got a bit of purchase here. Now notice how there are playing cards sticking out the back. These are not to worry about. Now we get to confront angles. The angles of this, if somebody stood on this side of me, if my audience is on this side, then it's a little bit too risky to be performing this. I'd probably do something else. But if the audience is anywhere from where the camera is to all the way around here, then I'm safe. But also I can stretch that audience, that viewpoint, by just turning my hand to the side. Now notice in this position how my fingers can move so freely. It's so fair. Now this hand's going to do a lot of work, and we're going to take advantage of this hand, of the participant or audience believing that this hand is empty. Now the thumb and the finger, they can still do a lot. Like I can hold the deck, I can pick the deck up, I can transfer it this hand. I can still keep using the hand, and we're going to use the hand in a moment. So once I'm satisfied that I've got the cards in a Tenkai palm, in that moment when I'm talking, I'm in Tenkai palm now, I can put the deck down, I can come back, talk, I've still got the playing cards, I've got all 4 ACES. I'm now going to give the deck to Susan. Susan's my participant, Susan Sausage. One thing that I love to do, and one thing that you're going to learn in this video, is this hand, dirty hand, we can convince our audience that this hand is completely empty by simply using it. Like naturally, instinctively, when you're palming playing cards, you will feel like you want to hide this hand. You want to hide it because it's hiding something, it's up to no good. Whereas if we just use it, if we keep it out in the open, if we use it to point, or use it to hold things or do things, naturally, instinctively, they're not gonna question for a second that I'm holding something in this hand. Obviously I'm not, because I wouldn't be able to use a hand. That's the psychology of it. That's how we deceive them without really even trying to deceive them. So I'm gonna give Susan the deck with the dirty hand, which means I can do this. Deck in hand, take the deck, give it to Susan with the dirty hand. I'm now showing this hand subconsciously, indirectly showing this hand empty. I give her the playing cards. As soon as I let go of them, she now believes this hand's empty too. So I'm stood here with empty hands. I can stand here with my hands together. If you want to find a natural position to be stood in, I just stand here with my hands together like this, waiting. I'm not trying to hide the playing cards, I'm just trying to be in a natural position. I can stand like this with my hands in front of me, just waiting as well. Always bearing in mind where the eye line's coming, where the eye's going to see, where the eye's coming down, my hand's protecting those playing cards. It's offering so much shade. Now, I invite Susan to shuffle the playing cards, and then she's going to cut the deck into 4 piles. Susan, shuffle the playing cards as freely as you like, shuffle them. Now cut them into 4 piles. Again, I'm using the dirty hand to further show that this hand is empty, to demonstrate that this hand is empty. So I say, Susan, cut the deck into 4 piles for me now. So she cuts the deck into 4 piles. Now notice how I can do that with the dirty hand. Because I've got my thumb and I've got all my fingers, I can still use this hand very easily. Now, the top card of each pile is not an ace. We know that. All the aces are here. It'd be a very nice coincidence if these were all kings or a different card, but we're not going to rely on that. For the demonstration in this video, in fact, at this point when I took the playing cards, I showed them to the camera on purpose to show you that there weren't aces, that the slide hadn't happened yet. So ace is here. She's now cut the playing cards. There's a few things that you can do here. I like the idea of saying, Susan, take the top card of each pile, put them in my hand. So she can do that. Again, it takes my hands off. It convinces her that I'm not doing anything deceptive, that I'm just stood here like this, waiting for 4 cards. If she deals me those 4 cards, then it's solidified in her mind that I only have 4 playing cards. My hands are empty. she's dealt me 4 playing cards. However, I also enjoyed this very special moment where I can use the dirty hand to take the cards like this. Now I use finger 2 and my thumb. I can grip right in the center. I use finger 1 to make sure I've only got 1 card, and to also prove in her mind, in the participant's mind, that I'm only taking 1 card. 1, 2, 3, 4. It can't be fairer. That is the fairest possible way of taking the playing cards from the tops of these piles. It can be fairer if Susan gives me them, so I would advise that when you're doing this on a participant. So Susan gives you the playing cards. Now we're going to get ready for the switch. So just to show you the random playing cards, wow, we got 3 7s and a 2. Not bad, not bad. We got 3 7s and a 2. So the playing cards are in my hand like this. I make sure my hand's open, but I'm going to do something interesting. I'm going to manipulate the cards a little bit further back into my hand than they normally would be. So as long as they're behind finger 1 and the top of my hand here, and what I mean by that, they're behind this line. If they're here or going over that line, it's dangerous. I need them to be here because I'm going to now close my hand and grip in the, I usually use a different word for this, but flanks. In the flanks of finger 3 of the palm, I'm going to grip, and they're going to bevel into my hand so that I can gambler's cop them. So they're now in a gambler's cop here in a palm. Again, this is a very, very convincing, my favorite sleight of hand technique of all time, the gambler's cop. It's very convincing. I can go from here to here, just a very simple grip. My hand looks very natural from the front. There's nothing in it as far as anybody can see. That is how we're going to get rid of these playing cards, but we're going to do it at a moment when we also take the ace out of this hand. So I need to show them like this and show that there are 4 cards in my hand. The switch has to happen at the perfect moment where both my hands are over here and my body is this way, because all the shade that's there at this point and all the attention that's brought away at the same time allows me to do this very slowly, and also it feels like it's not really even a sleight. It feels like I'm just putting them in my hand, which is basically what we're going to do. So I have to justify that with my body language. At the same time, I'm controlling her to put the audience direction onto the playing cards, away from my hands, away from my hands. So we're going to go from 1 dirty hand here to 1 dirty hand here. We're going to free this hand in a second. So the ace is still palmed in a Tenkai. The 4 cards have been dealt in my hand, and now I'm going to say, you shuffled these playing cards, and we took the top card of every pile. In my head, I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. Is this action of this hand where we're going to hide the switch. So I'm going to go like this, and here's the switch. So the cards are here. I'm holding them out right in front of her. 1, 2, 3, 4. At this moment, I let go and I pull my hand back, and I'm now holding the aces between my thumb and finger 1, whilst Gambler's Cop is taking care of those random playing cards. From their point of view, from their position, nothing's changed. There's one slight discrepancy, and that's in the shape of my hand, because I've gone from this to this. But it's a discrepancy that happened when it was hidden at a moment when nobody was looking, so nobody's going to see that. So I'll do this face up. So we have a face up aces in this hand, 4 random cards here, and I go, you shuffle the cards, I drop to the aces. You shuffle the cards and you cut 4 piles. And you cut to these playing cards. Now I'm in a position where I've Gambler's copped the random playing cards and I can get rid of them. I'm not going to just yet, we'll talk about that. I'm going to keep them here, but I've now got 4 aces in my hand and nothing else. Now if we do that face down, and I'll show you the exact way that I perform this. The aces are here, she's just dealt me the top card of each pile. I say you cut. Also, when we get to the final pile, I'm going to look up. I'm going to look at Susan. That's going to force her to mimic me, to copy me. The social compliance, the psychology of it forces her to look up at me, away from the entire situation, meaning that I don't have to slight my way through this. I just got to pass this into this hand and I'm done. It really is that simple. I'm closing this hand at the same time as gripping these 4 playing cards. So 4 random playing cards, aces here. You shuffle the cards, you cut 1, 2, 3, 4 piles, you cut to these playing cards. Once this visual has been soaked in by Susan from this position, I can now take those 4 playing cards with this hand, lower this hand down on my side, and then turn these over. There's a few options at this point. I like to keep hold of the cocked playing cards. I like to keep these in my hand. So the slight once again, And then what happens afterwards, I go, you could have cut to any playing cards, but you cut 1, 2, 3, 4 piles, and you cut to these playing cards. At this point, I like to give these cards to Susan. I like to give them to her and say, turn them up on top of each pile, or just have a look at them. She can put them face up on top of each pile she wants for effect, but I like to give them to her. This frees me again, it takes me away from the situation. The less you handle the playing cards, the less you touch anything, the less control it feels like you've got. The less control you actually have got in their mind, and it feels like you can't be up to no good. It feels as fair as it possibly can because you've barely touched the playing cards. She dealt you 4 playing cards. You did a count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you gave the playing cards back. In that tiny moment, you managed to switch playing cards, and it looks as fair as absolutely possible. Now, I can, if I want to, do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 4th card, lower my hand, lower the dirty cards all the way to the bottom. Again, if I've got a pocket on my side, if I've got somewhere to put them, I can, but I don't like to do it. I like to keep hold of them. If you rush this hand to your pocket, or if you rush it underneath the deck to get rid of the playing cards, you are drawing attention to what you're doing, and the likelihood of Susan and your audience clocking onto what you did, there must have been something in his hand because he did this. You don't want them to reverse engineer this and find any moment that could give away the trick. And for me, if I get rid of these cards, that introduces something, a discrepancy that I don't like, that I don't want. So I keep hold of them until the trick's over. Now, when is the trick over? When Susan has reacted accordingly, when the trick is over at this point, but she's reacted accordingly. Now we have to let Susan do what she wants, what she naturally wants. If she wants to inspect this, we have to let her. This gives us a good opportunity to stand back, hands in pockets, maybe get rid of these cards. It gives us a good opportunity to that. In most cases, you'll move on to a different trick, in which I can then take this pile, put it on top of these cards, thus getting rid of the copped cards. Pile, and we are fully clean, completely clean. Now, that is the essence. That's the essence of the Mad Aces. I'm very aware of how much time this is taking. I'm sorry, and thanks so much for listening. Let's go to the outro. That was Mad Aces. Thanks for watching. Thanks for choosing to spend some time with me today. A very special thanks to 52 Cards and the audience of 52 Cards. What a beautiful channel. What an amazing channel. I've been a fan of 52 Cards since I was this big. But Madison, you still are this big. If you enjoyed this lesson, if you enjoyed spending a little bit of time with me today with the playing cards, head on over to my channel, madison.yt. I'm sure there better be a link in this video description. I'll be very unhappy. Make sure you subscribe to 52 Cards, hit the thumbs up. I'll be in the comments section after this video spending some more time with you. Mad respect to 52 Cards, mad love to you guys for watching and spending some time with me. I'm Daniel Madison, see you next time.